7 years I spent with Jason Shaw, but I never got a ring. Rather, all I received was an invitation to another person's wedding. That day, as a wedding planner, I was at the rehearsal, making last-minute adjustments. Looking up, I saw the man whom I waited every day to reply to my messages, walking down the aisle, arm in arm with another bride. Her boyfriend had something urgent come up, so I'm filling in for him, he said, standing straight, his tone light, a small smile on his lip, but his eyes couldn't hide the hurt, like a child who lost his favorite toy. As if that wasn't enough, he told me to hand over my wedding plan. He patted me on the shoulder, saying sincerely, there's no rush for us. We've got plenty of time. I promise I'll give you an even better wedding. Just help me out this time. It's not like I'm not going to marry you. He didn't know that I had revised the wedding plan hundreds of times, even counted and recounted the bouquet 7 times. To me, it wasn't mere work, it was a dream I held for 5 long years. I didn't argue anymore, just quietly stepped aside. Later, I lay alone in a hospital bed, listening to the rain tapping against the window from outside. I counted each drop as the hours slipped through my fingers. Perhaps those who worked so hard to create happiness for others had lost the right to their own happiness. The last appointment before closing was a bride coming in for a run-through for her wedding rehearsal. The client's here again. Let's hope she finally makes up her mind this time, Lindsay said as she leaned against the wall, letting out a quiet sigh. This particular bride had been a real handful. We had already revised her drafts 5 times, but she didn't like a single draft. I grabbed my tablet and walked inside. The moment my eyes landed on the couple on stage, I froze. What's going on? Lindsay propped her face in her hands, her eyes lit up. Honestly, they look great together. No wonder she's so picky. If my fiancé looked like that, I would want every detail to be perfect, down to the color of the balloons. Our voices caught the attention of the pair on stage. Kate. The man's smile disappeared in an instant, his brows furrowed together. For a split second, panic flashed across his face. What are you doing here? Didn't you say you have to work late tonight? Why are you here now? I snapped. Anger shot up inside me, but I forced myself to keep it together even if my chest felt so tight that it was hard to breathe. The woman in the wedding dress raised her hand to cover her mouth, her eyes rimmed red and her voice trembling. I'm sorry. I was being selfish. Forget it. I shouldn't have troubled you. Sorry for bothering you today. Jason quickly grabbed her wrist and whispered something to calm her down, then turned and walked over to me. I was just worried you would get the wrong idea, so I didn't tell you beforehand. Her name's Wendy Webb, and she's an old college friend. Her fiancé's overseas and can't make it. No one can help her with the rehearsal. Since she needed someone about the same height and I happened to fit, I agreed to help out at the last minute. I stared at Jason with a cold face, then glanced at the woman. I couldn't tell if I believed him. The bride slowly approached, her designer gown made of satin and as delicate as snow petals. She looked cool and distant, a single tear hanging on her long lashes as she lowered her head. I really am sorry. I didn't know you two were together. He told me you're very open-minded and wouldn't mind. That's the only reason I asked him. She bowed deeply, her shoulders trembling. I simply watched it in silence. Huh, open-minded? What girlfriend would be open-minded enough to let her boyfriend walk another woman through a wedding rehearsal while holding hands? As I watched coldly, Jason stepped in to steady Wendy, who was about to bend over. He turned to me, his tone casual. Why are you staring at her like that? This isn't her fault. Her fiancé couldn't even show up for something as important as the rehearsal and left her to stand here alone. What kind of guy does that? It was rare to see him lose his temper in public. What struck me even more was the sadness in his eyes and the regret he tried to hide. As the business's top planner, I had to draw the line between work and personal life. Business was business. So, I stood back and watched them walk down the runway together over and over again, holding hands, turning, sharing glances, and smiling. Only when the bride finally nodded did the rehearsal end. A sharp pain stabbed through my chest. I quietly sank into a chair, trying to catch my breath. Before leaving, Jason looked back and said, they came here because they trust you. You're the best. Make sure her wedding is both beautiful and unforgettable. He left without a backward glance, never noticing how pale my face had gotten. Jason and I had been together for 7 years. In those 7 years, I went from a rookie who couldn't even arrange a bouquet to one of the most sought-after wedding planners in the business. But our relationship, it had been stuck in the mud for all 7 years, never moving forward. After the late shift, I dragged myself home and collapsed on the couch. My phone rang. It was my mom.